In 2016, there were tons of rumors of killer clowns all over America.
Creepy clown sighting in the East Bay turned violent today.
There were thousands of clown sightings, thousands of videos,
Go!
with hundreds of millions of views. And it got so bad that on Halloween in certain areas, they banned clown costumes.
It's against the law, and it's also against city ordinance.
But were there actually clowns killing people? And how did this whole thing even start? I have a lot of plans to try to figure this out, including going to the areas where the actual clown sightings were reported to the police. But first,
I'm gonna go over the situation a little bit more. The thing I remember the most was the videos. The scary ones that were going mega viral were from this guy named DM Pranks. And every single one of the videos is taken down. It was literally like people's heads getting bashed in, people getting sawed in half. And they're doing it in front of real people. I feel like it's the reason a lot of people are scared of clowns today. Look at this one. I don't know, I'll just blur the part. Look at this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he starts legitimately chasing them.
so now that we knew why there was such a big panic, it was time to figure out how it started and if there were actually killer clowns. The first thing on my list was to meet up with someone who worked as a clown at the time to see if maybe they had any idea.
All right, so I'm here with Candy. Great to meet you. And
Nice to meet you too.
I'm just kind of curious about how you got into being a clown. What inspired you to do that?
At one point, there was a clown leader that I had run into, and I decided that I would get involved with that. I learned from the clowns, how to do the basics, and then when the clown crisis hit, we all decided we changed the name to Family and Variety Entertainers, because we could do the things that we've always done, but not with all the makeup on.
You kind of brought it up there, but what were your initial thoughts when that whole thing in 2016 started happening?
Yeah, it was tough on us because these people were running around doing stupid things when it came out. It really didn't hit us until they actually started hurting people. And then that's when everybody was afraid of clowns. And it really killed our industry for a while.
And I know a lot of clowns that do this for a living, and it's been hard.
Yeah, no, people weren't calling for clowns.
We're kind of trying to figure out if it was entirely rumors or there were people actually out there doing stuff.
They would chase people down with knives. I know that they were hurting people.
I always wanted a clown at my birthday as a kid.
No, and you
this
didn't get one?
No. It's not actually my birthday, but if we could pretend.
Okay.
You were very quick with this. This is impressive.
Oh, this is my easy balloon. That was a sword.
This is a sword.
I did the sword. I was going to do that as the ray gun. Okay.
Now that we knew something was indeed definitely actually happening with clowns in 2016, my new question was how extreme. Candy seemed to think that there were people actually getting injured from clowns, but what else? And were there any actual murders? To find that out, I got 3 of the locations with the most reported sightings of killer clowns in 2016 that we're gonna look more into, starting with Oakland, California.
So behind me is the library. I'm stopping at the library first because a lot of times they got public records and documentation of this sort of thing. If there's any public records or anything.
Yeah. Actually, the history.
There were rumors of basically killer clowns in 2016 in this area, and I was just wondering if there was any documentation or anything. So a lot of it is just people calling other people clowns. They called Trump a clown here. Oh, this year's nationwide clown scare. Wait, this might be it. Clown-related threats have been made to schools in Oakland, among other cities. A man wearing a clown suit tried abducting a 1-year-old.
It was at this bus stop that she met the clown, a white male with dark hair covered by a curly blue wig, wearing a full clown suit.
Someone tried to abduct a 1-year-old girl. That's crazy. If a clown tried to steal my 1-year-old kid, I would 1000% turn into Batman after that, bro. I wasn't able to find this in the police station where we just went to, so I can't verify this, but apparently the FBI became involved with the threats in Oakland specifically because there were so many threats about the schools that the FBI decided to get involved in this and investigate the social media accounts that were doing in this. And then what we did, that wasn't even online, what we did find out is that there was someone in 2016 who tried to kidnap a baby dressed as a clown.
Off the bat, finding out that someone had almost been kidnapped by a clown was insane. Maybe it didn't seem so crazy that there might have actually been murders dressed up as clowns, but we didn't know for sure, so we headed to the next location. Okay guys, we're now at Bakersfield. We're at the library now. We heard there were rumors here in 2016 that there were killer clowns.
Because I remember we had a movie, but it was it's not real. I mean, of Wasco. Yes, I mean, it's just a horror movie though. I'm like, I don't know.
That's what the name was?
Yeah.
The Legend of Wasco. What she said was interesting though. There was a clown movie that came out with the title Wasco, and it was in 2015, like the year before. Got a bit of an odd question for you guys. There were rumors of killer clowns in this area, and we're trying to look at,
I remember this because my boys were like terrified, like a couple.
I was
it was
terrified.
like a couple years ago. Like,
Yeah, we're just trying to kind of figure out if there was any truth to it or if it all was just made up.
Florida's convicted killer clown released from prison. Marlene Warren's son, Joseph Aarons, and his friends were at home when they said a person dressed as a clown rang the doorbell. He said that when his mom answered, the clown handed her some balloons. After she responded, "How nice," the clown pulled a gun and shot her in the face.
Oh my gosh. Dressed as a clown in 1990.
Yeah, I remember on social media seeing like clips
Yeah.
of
Yeah, it was
people,
everywhere.
like a girl and maybe a couple would be in a car and then they would be like, "Oh my God."
I feel like a lot of people are interested in it because it's just like, it was so big. Everyone knows about it. If you were alive in 2016, you knew about the killer clowns. I was terrified of them. Every dude I know was terrified of them. I'm just kidding. I wasn't terrified because I'm obviously, like I said, I bench 315. I'm just like really wondering what started this. I thought the only actual killer dressed as a clown was John Wayne Gacy, which was a very popular serial killer.
I can imagine there was multiple killers.
There probably were a lot, to be honest. I'm just wondering if there were any in 2016.
We now knew that there were actual incidents involving people dressed as clowns and that there were some clown murders, just not in 2016 that we found yet. So I thought we might stop by the police station to see if we could get any reports of anything that might have happened. So apparently in Bakersfield specifically where we're at, there were an incredible amount of sightings and reportings. I think more than anywhere else. It got so bad that in a single week, apparently, there were over 20 reports. Either there was one dude going crazy or there were a lot of them.
It's a team, bro.
That's what I was saying, bro, the clown mafia. Dude, that would be crazy, bro. Like we're interviewing, we're like trying to figure out what the clowns are. A small car rolls up and then 20 clowns come out with bats and they're like, we're making a video documentary about, there were rumors here that there were like killer clowns and apparently you guys got a lot of reportings and we're just trying to see if that's true. In 2016, it was a minute ago. I'm not sure. Damn it. It's looking bad so far, guys. It's not looking good. Why are you smiling like that?
Sorry. You just look so cute.
Stop it. You look cute.
Really?
No. The clown we did talk to, she said she was very affected. People were obviously scared of this. Was there attacks happening? Were there killer clowns?
You know, killer clown you're looking for is out of Wasco.
Boston.
Wasco, that's
Oh,
where
Wasco.
it originated from, and that's where that movie came out of.
Really? That's where all the rumors started? No way, dude, bro heard us from the car. Bro was driving, oh, the killer clowns. Oh, I know them. That random dude driving by gave us the best lead we've had all day.
So with that random dude's advice, we headed to Wasco to hopefully see if there were actual killer clowns and how this whole thing even started.
We're now at the next location, Wasco, California. I've heard from my contact that there was some police involvement in killer clowns here, so I don't know what that means. We're of course starting at the library here. It's a much smaller town / city than we were at. Oh, that's great. That's a good sign.
You're allowed to see that.
Are they actually closed then? Well, it looks like we're gonna be going straight to the police station. In 2016. Yeah.
We just opened last year.
Opened last year? Where were the police before that? So basically the only reported thing here was multiple phone calls of scary clowns in really odd areas at night to the police.
All we had absolutely figured out was that there were multiple killer clowns, just none that we had found in 2016 yet. But in 2016, there were lots of real threats and even attempted things such as kidnappings. And finally, that the Legend of Wasco horror movie might have had a lot to do with this whole trend. But I had one final person to talk to who studied the fear of clowns, where we could get our final clue on what really happened.
My name is Frank McAndrew. I'm a psychology professor at Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois. I study a wide range of social behaviors from an evolutionary perspective, including the topic of creepiness.
I first want to talk about why clowns are such a common fear, because a lot of people I know are just terrified of clowns.
Well, and before we get to that, let me talk a little bit about a personal story from 2016 when the killer clown craze was going on. I was contacted to write an article about why people get creeped out by clowns. So I wrote this article that got a lot of buzz and people were looking at it. But the downside of this was I then became the poster boy for the guy who was ruining the careers of professional clowns. There was this ringleader clown on the West Coast who started stalking me on social media, doing everything he could to destroy my reputation. He went so far as to call the president and the dean of my college. So getting back to your original question, what is it about clowns that creeps us out? Well, they're designed to be creepy. We're creeped out by uncertainty. When we're interacting with people, we like to be able to predict what's going to happen. We want to know if this person's going to be a danger to us or not. And so we have rules that we follow, right? There are norms of how you interact with people. And when somebody violates those rules, they are immediately put us on our guard. Clowns, by definition, do everything outside of the norm. They don't dress like normal people. They have the makeup and the wigs. You can't tell what they're really feeling. They got a smile painted on their face, but are they really happy? If you go to the circus, you expect, all right, there are going to be some clowns there. They're following a script. But if you look out your window at midnight and you see one standing under the streetlight in front of your house, that's a whole different story.
And then I guess I wanted to ask about clowns being used so much in scary movies. Is it because the reasons you said, or is it something that's just become like more popular?
I think they showed up in the movies because they are automatically a little scary and creepy to a lot of people. The movies started popping up right after the John Wayne Gacy situation. So when you give somebody a word association test, clown, right away serial killer comes to mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there. I think after the dust settled, after that whole scare, there were very few actual incidents of...
He pulled her arm, literally.
And that wasn't the first time there was a killer clown phase going on. In like 1980s and places like that, there were occasional geographical areas where suddenly there were clown sightings and people were afraid of it. But it didn't spread all over the world because there was no internet.
So after going over absolutely everything, here is my theory. Clowns. They're already scary, like the psychologist said. Then we have someone named John Wayne Gacy, very infamous serial killer. He murders a ton of people dressed as a clown, which then inspires horror movies even more. Then in 2015, the year before this happens, a horror movie comes out about killer clowns in Wasco, which is where we went, and there were a lot of reported sightings. Then in 2016, social media is getting bigger, so I think people started taking videos because of that movie, and that slowly grew into this unbelievably large trend of killer clowns. There were some incidents, but it was mostly just stuff getting investigated. I couldn't find any clowns that actually murdered people during the time. By the way, I checked how many of you guys watching are subscribed, and it's extremely low. So please, it would mean the world to me if you guys could subscribe. Help me get to 2 million so I can collab with Sam and Colby. Peace.